I see a huge expansion in terms of rooms and operators also. I think that because there is two main aspects that, in my opinion, is really influenced this growth. That is economic point of view. So a single rooms cost less than a studio or a private flat. So could maybe cost 20-30% less. So it's an important aspect. The other question is that social point of view. So people want to stay and live with other people and not to stay alone. So I think that this will remain for quite a lot and will let the co-living business expand in the next 10 and maybe 20 years.
I think there will be an acceleration in the next 2-3 years due to the pandemic. We've been alone at home for a long time now. It's nearly how much? 12 months now, especially for Italy, it's 12 months. For you guys, probably a little bit less, but that's what we're talking about. I think there will be an acceleration, both on the way people are going to look at the housing system, and sharing obviously is going to become probably better than going by yourself or even buying a house. So there will be a switch completely from, I would say, buying a property to house as a service type of model.
Christine here with another fun, exciting episode of the Co-Living Coach Show every single Wednesday on YouTube, on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. And if you guys can write us a super quick review, we'd really appreciate it. And I want to give ISL Furnishings a quick shout out. They are a brand created through Inner Space Living, and they are all about creating exciting spaces where design meets function. Interspace parlayed its success in commercial grade unit furniture and conceived an elevated offering. And they believe strongly in the co-living industry, which is really cool. And they already work with some of the larger companies like Star City. ISL Furnishings was founded with the mission to bring your brand to life. Their goal is to revolutionize the unit furniture experience, and they are driven by creativity. They believe that interiors should inspire brilliance. Every venue has its own voice. They exist to clarify that voice, interpret your brand vision, and deliver superior quality on time, every time, even during COVID. We actually interviewed the guys a while back, so you definitely want to check out that interview. Today, we are bringing on one of the largest co-living operators in the world, which is DoveVivo. They haven't really been in the media a ton, especially for how large they are. They started about 10 years ago, and we really dive deep into that, how they grew, what their future pipeline looks like, their revenue, which they were open to sharing. So I will read their bio and we will get right into the episode. Valerio, after graduating with a degree in business economics, immediately launched into his career, holding from 2004 to 2008 the position of manager at Tambourine Investment Partners, an independent investment merchant bank focused on medium-sized Italian companies listed on the Italian Stock Exchange. In 2007, Valerio founded DoveVivo and has dedicated himself to his company full-time since 2010. He's currently the CEO of a leading company in the co-living sector that plans to grow fast in Italy and abroad. During his professional career, Valerio has learned to read figures and to think about the processes behind the company logic. At the same time, however, he has not neglected his emotional and human part that he continues to use to choose and motivate people who share his experience as an entrepreneur. And Giulio, who is the COO. Giulio graduated in general management, and in 2009 he founded City Deal in Italy, which then sold to Groupon, where he was the first MD for Italy and then vice president for Southern Europe and the Middle East. 2017 he moved to London to manage the international expansion of WeWork in Europe and China. So he has that background, we dive into that. In 2020 he joined DoveVivo before as head of international to manage the international development of the brand and business and the creation and management of the local teams. Then he became head of growth to be responsible for the fast growth they're having for the entire company portfolio, both in Italy and abroad, through the acquisitions of new property units from institutional contacts, such as AMCs or real estate trusts, insurance companies, and social welfare funds, etc., and private owners. Then Giulio became COO for coordinating and optimizing the company's operational and project activities in order to make them more effective and functional for its national and international development. And a little bit about the company. They are the first European co-living company in terms of portfolio managed and expected revenues. DoveVivo was set up in Milan in 2007 and since then has shown an enormous growth. And today it manages 1,500 houses. But that's not the unit count. We'll dive into that in the episode. And 7 residences in 13 European cities with an ambition projection of portfolio expansion. And its mission is to offer smart and innovative way to manage co-living properties, guaranteeing its network of owners and investors the best value and its international community of students and young professionals the best way to live in their new city. Its vision is to make co-living the best solution by adding value to the home and living the city and community and becoming the point of reference for co-living in Europe and one of the most important globally. Okay, so I know there's a bit of a bio for both of them, but definitely wanted to show you guys their impressive background. So let's launch into this week's episode. Okay, like I said, this week we are bringing on actually 2 people again from DoveVivo. We have Giulio, who's the COO, and then we have Valerio, who is the CEO. So we got them both on finally. I know you guys are so busy. I've been trying for months and months to bring you on. So excited to speak to both of you.
Likewise. Thanks, Christine, and
Thank you, Christine, for
really nice to meet you.
to invite us.
So we're going to start with Valerio, CEO. Let's see, how long did you get started, and just kind of catch us up on your journey.
Okay. So DoveVivo was founded in 15, and maybe in February will be 15 years ago in Milan, and we were 2 young. Was founded with me and William Maggio, the other co-founder. We were born in the south of Italy, in Puglia, and like other students, we decided to go in another city to study, so in Milan. And then we went there and started living in a co-living solution, but so in a flat managed by a private landlord. But it was a really beautiful experience from the university point of view. But the living solution was quite bad, actually, I would say, because there was no contract, any kind of maintenance and services, and also like really abandoned as tenant. Then we started to work, William in the marketing sector and me in the private equity sector. But we were quite young and we were 27 years old and decided to make a startup and to say, okay, William, but why don't we, why students and young professionals cannot have a beautiful house like other segment or families or young couple could have, and decided to start with our first money that we earned in those years, like 20,000 euros. So we started to make this startup and to go and buying furniture and to restructuring me and William by ourselves, nights and days and weekend. And it was just like a little bit like a joke because we didn't know exactly what we were doing, but we were having such a fun. And immediately we understood that it was working because people came there and see a beautiful house, and we promised to take care about the maintenance, the utilities, all the bills, so everything, and it was working. So people, as soon as we were restructuring a flat, it was already immediately rented. And after a while, we understood that it could become a job and a business. And yeah, it's just 2 friends. We know each other like since we were 10 years old. So we are friends like since 30 years. And we just keep doing this business and having fun, even if today the company has become quite big. So we have 1,500 flats under management, so almost 8,000 rooms, mainly in Italy. And we are not restructuring anymore directly, me and William. There is an important team. working for the company, almost 160 people, and he's still doing really beautiful and amazing trip.
And I know you guys are the largest in Italy with 8,000 rooms. And it's, you guys had such humble beginnings. Like, I didn't even know that story that you started 15 years ago with 20,000 euros. Now you guys have 8,000 beds. That's so impressive. And then I wanted to see, did you, I know that Giulio came on. Which year did you come on as COO? I know you came on later.
I came on beginning of last year, so right before COVID started. I came on in the beginning. I was supposed to run and expanding the company internationally, and then a few months ago, I took over also basically all the end-to-end operations, both on the landlord side and on the member side as a COO.
Nice. And your background is super impressive. So I definitely wanted to touch on that. You started City Deal there in Milan. In Milan, or which city did you start City Deal?
I originally started in Madrid. It's not even on my LinkedIn profile, but I started in Madrid, a company that I then sold to City Deal. And then with City Deal, I funded City Deal to Milan. I came back to Italy in 2010 to fund City Deal. And then everything started with that. And Groupon came. And then obviously, as you might have seen, I did several experiences from digital. I started from digital, then I moved to real estate with WeWork. I spent a few years at WeWork, first running Europe, and then in 2019, I had a kind of secondment in China for 11 months, where I basically did a kind of restructuring. We had to integrate an acquisition that we did, and then we had also to readjust all our growth operations. And then at end of 2019, my experience at WeWork was almost done, and that's when I met Valerio and William, and I fall in love with the concept. I fall in love with the company, and obviously there was a kind of a match between the three of us. And I say, okay, I'm joining, and we'll figure it out. And now we are 1 year on this journey, and it's been amazing so far.
And how, I followed Groupon when they first started, and I know it doesn't have to do with co-living, but I was a big, big fan of that company. So, what was the process, or how was the journey being acquired by them?
Was nice and soft in the beginning, in the sense that we were a small group of founders when they bought us, because we were like in 5 countries, and we were like 7 guys with probably a team of in total 200 people. And then we started to scale for the first 2 years. And I have to say that before we went public, Groupon was like leaving us alone and treating us as founders. Then obviously there was a kind of a change after we went public, and the experience started to become a little bit more painful, not only because of obviously we were growing in terms of maturity as people and as a company, but at the same time, as you probably know, the concept changed completely, and we lost a lot of opportunities in not only in the restaurant area, but in general in the local commerce area. So that's how the journey went. So I would say, if I had to divide, I would say from 2009 to 2012, I think 2013, sorry, it was a great experience. Then we entered in this, as every hyper-growth company, we entered in this restructuring phase. And that phase was, I would say, was painful, both on the human side, but also on the business side.
How many years was that phase?
The second one was, until I left, was 2.5 years.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've been to their headquarters a few times in Chicago, and used in my business, used Groupon. That was our number one lead generator, with a different company. So yeah, I was just curious about that. And then, and I forgot to mention everybody. So DoveVivo means where do I live? The guys, I was trying to translate it. I'm trying to learn Italian this year. That's my number one goal. And Milan is my favorite city in Italy. So excited you guys are there. And let's see, you guys went over your growth. What's your guys' projected pipeline in the next few years? I'll have Valerio answer that.
So we want to expand our portfolio here in Italy, because we have a huge opportunity to grow here, but we want to become the most important platform in Europe. here we are at the moment the biggest that we have here in Europe, but we want to consolidate with operations in the most important countries here in Europe. Could be Spain, French. We will look at also at the UK and Germany in the future. So to becoming the most important platform that we can have here in Italy, and maybe one of the most important all over the world. It's an ambition program. I think that everything that we have done until now was ambitious, and we have realized it. And we will see. We have the possibility to do that, and I hope that we'll keep doing, enjoy, and having fun of it, and maybe innovating also the way co-living can be done. And I want to show everybody that co-living doesn't mean for everybody that wants to work in this market doesn't mean to lose all your ass as me and Giulio. It's just a case. And so don't worry about that. It's just a case.
And then, what about expanding out of Europe, like to the US? Do you guys have any plans to expand out of Europe?
Right now, we want to concentrate in Europe, and then we will see. First of all, the market is huge. The opportunity is huge. Maybe focus. It's a way to realize also projects, and we do not have to be too much ambitious in the short term. Maybe in the future, in the next 3, 4, 5 years, there could be opportunity to go in another continent. USA could be an interesting market. Also because there is no
Yeah, I
really
mean,
big operator there.
you're exactly right. 8,000 is way more than anybody. I think Common's roughly at 2,000 right now. But that's
2,500.
okay, 2,500. Okay. But they're multifamily. They're like 50-50. They're 50% multifamily, 50% co-living. Do you guys have a split like that too?
I'll take this. For now, we are purely co-living, but you need to see that within our segmentation, uh, we have something that are not family yet, but we have a lot of couples that are taking units, small units for them. So I would say we are getting there. It's going to take time, but obviously we are looking also at that segment.
Got it. And then there is a video, just everybody, I know a lot of people listen on the podcast side, but if you guys check out the video on YouTube, we definitely showed your guys' new property. I think you guys opened in October. So we played the video in the beginning before this interview of that property. It's beautiful. When did you guys open it?
We opened in September, officially opened in September 2020, beginning of September.
And then talk about that building.
Yeah, we started. That's an interesting story. Originally, that building in the 50s was a factory of a pharmaceutical and cosmetic company. The family still owns the company, but I would say they outsourced the production outside of Italy at some point and in Switzerland. And they had this building, was a tiny building, was only 2 floors. And in 2017, they started this kind of RFP process. So they wanted to do something with that. And there were several options on the table, including an hotel. And then we came on the table. We met the landlord, we met the property manager, and we say, hey, we have an idea. We can do this one of the most amazing buildings for students and for young professionals in the city. There's not something like that in town at the time, but even now, why don't we do this together? Obviously, there was a kind of discussion and negotiation, and we signed something preliminary end of 2017, and we started working together in 2018. We built the project together with the landlord, basically. So drawings, we chose all the materials, all the FF&E and everything together up until, obviously, during the COVID, we had to stop works for a couple of months. But then we were able in August to basically recover the time we lost and opening on time for the university season. It's really close. As you probably have seen, we have an amazing rooftop. There's plenty of space for our members within the rooms and the apartments. And we have an amazing common area on the ground floor, including a gym. a private gym and a laundry for all our members. And the other thing is, which is probably the most important thing of the concept, is really close to Bocconi University, which is one of the most important private university institution that we have in the country and even worldwide, I think. So it's been a perfect match with the landlord. Great process in terms of developing the facility, but also the concept was something that for us was completely new, in the sense that we have several student houses across Italy and buildings, but this is the first efficient, modern, ground up building that we built together with a landlord in 15 years of history.
And then how many, so there was the 2 stories first. Did you guys have to build on top of that, or did
We
you tear the
built
whole thing
a
down?
couple of floors and the terrace on top.
Oh, nice. How many units total?
It's 77. It's 17 units, 77 beds.
Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. And then Valerio, anything like talk about the project? Was it easier than you expected, harder?
It has been really a beautiful project because it was amazing to work with the landlord and to get also his enthusiastic way of approaching this project. Also because it was his own asset, the asset where he has worked for many years. So kind of emotional connection with the building. And yeah, that's the thing that I really remember, that I really liked a lot. He was really happy of watching and see this new project realized, and to see that he was really satisfied of the job that we have done together, and this new project. So that's something that I will remember for quite a lot, also because it was really our first co-living building.
That's so neat. And so I love how passionate you still are about the industry, positive and passionate. Again, you're 15 years. I love that. That's really great.
Yeah, I like the business. I like the idea of co-living and sharing things. I like also a lot the team and people I work with. I'm really it's a really beautiful. How can I say? I feel to be honored to be part of this project, and also the opportunity and really happy to have the opportunity to um, create something new, and for the society, for the company, and for the shareholders, and for the employees. But I really still I'm really enthusiastic about this. Yeah.
And then, Giulio, so you're on the operations side. So I'll have this question for you. Is there any, like, are you guys, like, I love using this show as an opportunity to kind of reach out and use that reach in the co-living industry. The 2 questions, are you guys looking for any team members to hire? And then, or are you looking for any investors to come on board, or property developers?
How much time do we have?
As much as you want. Because again, we've connected investors with co-living companies, which is super exciting. We've connected people with jobs. So I love that we're doing that. So now I'm asking this question every interview.
Currently, we are, and I'm looking for both senior and junior position in my teams, from real estate, construction to sales. I would say I would not mention all the positions. Obviously, these areas to me are key. Starting from real estate, obviously, we are keep expanding the portfolio. We are looking for seniority there, especially abroad, to support us. So in case there is anyone interested, please reach out. On the investing side, I would say there is something that we do that not that many operators are doing. Yes, I would say that this type of approach, meaning us providing opportunities to landlord and to investor and to developer, it's something that can definitely help people who are not familiar with co-living to get closer to the industry, and then someone reliable to manage their properties.
Awesome. And Valerio, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, we are, from another side point of view, from investor and shareholders of the company, we are, I can say, we are analyzing if the opportunity is huge to grow, and we want to understand if we will need maybe the money to accelerate the growth, and we will think about that in 2021. Maybe we will make a new fundraising, or maybe we will go on with our path.
And then I apologize. I know we talked about growth, like future growth and pipeline. Like, how many beds do you guys see, in the next year and maybe in the next 5 years?
Can I
Yeah.
take this?
Yeah,
I'll take
Giulio.
this. So numbers this year only, we still have nearly 1,000 beds to develop of pipeline that was already existing. And in the coming years, the current pipeline is nearly 18,000 beds, more or less, globally.
Within
So
how many years?
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
In the next 3 years, so between 21 and end of 24.
Okay, well, you have that WeWork hyper growth and Groupon. You have these hyper growth companies that you've worked for.
No, we have a different approach.
Yeah.
In a sense that obviously approach to CapEx, to design, to everything is a little bit different, and it's a different product compared to co-working.
Yeah.
And also a different way of growing, because I think that in the future it will be important also to grow in a profitable way. I think that the industry will need to demonstrate, and also operator, that this business can be done in a profitable way. DoveVivo has always done this in the last 15 years. It's a way of thinking, so to grow in a sustainable way, and that's something that we will be, in my opinion, be able to do also in the future, because it's really important to make partnership for landlords and for investors with companies and co-partner, operating partners that has already demonstrated to have a way of growing and approaching the business in a profitable and sustainable way. That's our way, the DoveVivo, the way of thinking and developing the project and the business. And I think that we will be able to grow quite fast, as the way we've done in the last years. Also because we are, according to the Financial Times, one of the 1,000 companies, fast-growing company in Europe, and we demonstrate to do this in a profitable way. That's something really important for me.
Yes, you said the magic words. I think that everybody concentrate, a lot of businesses, which I'm sure you've seen, are just growth. And they're not even thinking about profit. They're thinking about that down the line. But yeah, I mean, you definitely want to be a profitable business as soon as you can. So that's great that's your focus.
Yeah.
We do things the other way around. We don't do a deal if we cannot make it profitable, which is something different compared to what other industries used to do.
That is very smart. I love that. That is great. And then, Giulio, let's go back to, I know, how many beds in a room or in a unit? Like, first of all, let's say this, sorry. In a unit, how many bedrooms are there? And in a bedroom, how many beds are there? I know it's kind of like dorms in some of the buildings.
We, on average, I would say in a unit, it's between 3.5 and 4.5, roughly. Obviously, it's 3 to 4. We don't have the dorm concept, in a sense that especially after COVID, we switched completely to single rooms. So no more than a bed in a bedroom. For safety reasons, for privacy reasons. We have obviously in some of our student houses still some, I would say, double bedrooms. But for now, the direction is, I would say 95% of the facilities are with one single bedroom, each of them. Single bedroom, sorry, each of them. So.
Got it. And then Valerio, what are some things that you guys, so we mentioned COVID, so let's dive into that. What are some other things you guys had to quickly adjust in order to, I know Italy was really, really hit hard and strict. What else did you guys do?
I think that the company, the business is from our side and from demonstrating really good resilience. So I think that we will keep growing and going with our strategy, that is to invest in the product. So beautiful houses, beautiful flats and rooms and buildings. I think that for the future, we will need to invest more in services for the customers, also for the community and for the technology. So I think that when I was leaving the private equity sector, my mother said, "What are you going to do?" And I was say, "Okay, I'm going to do this business." And she said, "You're going to rent rooms." And now I'm saying to my mother, Mom, you have to think that this business is more complicated as renting just rooms.
Yeah.
Because I say there is the hard aspect, so is the building, so and the house and the flats. But I'm saying it's not for the future the most important thing. So we should produce and realize and rent beautiful solutions. But I think that in the future the competition will be on services, community, and technology. And that's something that I really understand also about pandemic. So it's the way we should realize something different on the market. And I don't think it will be the hard part of the value proposition.
And were you guys doing in-person events, coordinating those, pre-COVID?
Giulio?
We did events pre-COVID in 2019 and even a couple of years before, but then obviously we had to stop. We didn't have still, I would say, digital event program. What, as Valerio was saying, it's keeping the focus on our community. It's one of the goals of 2021, allowing people to get to our platform, not only obviously for the rooms, but also for events, courses, and other type of I would call it entertainment, but I would say can be education, can be entertainment, can be any kind of e-learning also available on the market.
Perfect. And then Valerio, what and I'm gonna ask you guys both this question. What's your favorite part of the co-living industry and being so involved in it?
The idea to share, I think. I started this business sharing the project and the idea with a friend, and the most important part for me is to share with him. We try to share at every level. So with the shareholders, with the personnel, everybody has got shares of the company. So Giulio and all the colleagues that we have in the company, we like to share space. There is everybody has got, there is a common area also here in the office, and also in the product. So with common areas, and also with the idea to share the experience and also the facility. For example, we another beautiful thing that I really like is that we share with all our customers. It's like every kind of sport furniture, so they can have from the company as to rent for free and to take for free all the equipment about sports. So they share all this with all the customers. So it's something that we can to go far and to go away from the ownership. Okay.
Perfect. And Giulio?
I will start from something personal and then I'll get into the business. Since I was born until I probably got married, I would say not got married, but when I met my fiance and then wife, I always shared a room with someone, because when I was a child, my grandma was living with us and I was sharing my room with my sister, and then we had a big apartment, but I had to share. Then I went to university and I was sharing an apartment with someone. And then I kept going with this concept of sharing until I met my current wife. So I would say this is something that I was kind of I don't want to say DNA, but it's something that I love about the aspect. It's something that I've lived, but I know, and now I'm running as a business. On the other hand, if you get into the business, obviously, if you look at all our stakeholders, I think we're doing something meaningful for the members because we give them I would say, a great place to live and to entertain themselves with others and sharing experience with others. To our investors, because obviously the goal is to return value to them, which is something that we've been doing so far in the past 15 years. And to landlords, I would say from the tiniest apartment up to the biggest building, we provide value, which is something that in the real estate industry, with this type of assets, it's not common to do. You know, people generally look at real estate with offices, logistics, and hotel. And then there is this asset that for now was never considered by anyone. And now it's becoming, I would say, the new El Dorado. Give me this word as an expression. So I think providing value to people can be material or non-material is probably something that makes me more exciting about the project. And then also working with people like Valerio, William, and the rest of our colleagues. We're like a family. We're not a small family anymore because we're under 6 people, but we still treat each other as family members, which to me, it's really important, to be honest.
Do all the, over 100 employees, you guys have a lot of employees. Are they all located in Italy or no?
We have, I would say 90% of the people are now in Italy and 10% is split between Spain and France.
And then have you guys been profitable all 15 years?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Very impressive, guys. Very impressive. So we're wrapping up. I have one more question for you guys, but again,
Clearly,
tell
Christine,
Esther. Yeah.
Clearly, Christine, this year we have last year we had a little bit reduction, so we didn't grow so as planned, but we passed from 30 millions to 40 millions turnover. So we had an important expansion. We plan to expand even more, but it was really an important result. So
and that's annual revenue?
Yeah, in terms of revenues.
And then, but were you still profitable last year because of COVID? You still have profit?
Yeah, we were at break-even, the EBITDA level, when we have been for 14 years with 16, 17, 18 points of EBITDA. So we have been always profitable, also at net profit level. Last year, it was like a break-even here within an important expansion of the turnover, but we will come back to our normal profitability.
That is amazing. See, I know operators are going to listen to this and be inspired by that you could totally be a very profitable operation. Obviously, the more you scale, the more profitable it becomes. But no, that's awesome. And give a big thank you to Esther. She is amazing on your team. I've been corresponding with her for a while now. And yeah, she was so sweet. She's like, okay, one of them's coming on, or do you want both? And I'm like, no, please bring both of you guys on. So tell her thank you for that. And thank you guys for taking the time today for the interview. So my last question is, where do you start? And we'll start with Valerio. Where do you see co-living in 10 years from now?
I see a huge expansion in terms of rooms and operators also. I think that because there is two main aspects that, in my opinion, has really influenced this growth. That is economic point of view. So a single rooms cost less than a studio or a private flat. So could maybe cost 20-30% less. So it's an important aspect. If we the other question is that social point of view. So people want to stay and live with other people and not to stay alone. So I think that this will remain for quite a lot and will let the co-living business expand in the next 10 and maybe 20 years. And I think that will be an expansion also in other segments. For example, young couple and other segments that will want to stay in a co-living solution.
Perfect. And Giulio.
I think Valerio said it all. I would say I think there will be an acceleration in the next 2-3 years due to the pandemic. We've been alone at home for a long time now. It's nearly how much? 12 months now, especially for Italy, it's 12 months. For you guys, probably a little bit less, but that's what we're talking about. I think there will be an acceleration, both on the way people are going to look at the housing system, and sharing obviously is going to become probably better than going by yourself or even buying a house. So there will be a switch completely from, I would say, buying a property to house as a service type of model. And on the investor side, I would say within the next 10 years, hopefully we're going to get out of the concept of being an alternative asset and becoming properly a category and an asset within the real estate industry, because it's something that at the moment I think can potentially penalize the amount of investments that the industry can get.
Perfect. Both great answers, you guys. Well, thank you again so much for coming on this show this week. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Christine. It's been really
Thank you very much, Christine.
Ciao.
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 Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. And keep in mind, we are on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. And also, if you are a co-living community, you can reach out to us to be listed on the Kindred platform. That's KNDRD.io. It's a great way to showcase pictures, videos, virtual tours of your community. Also, we have a link in the show notes for our 3 books on co-living. You can also find one of them on Amazon.com if you'd like the print version. And lastly, a very quick shout out to our partners over at ISL Furnishings. They bring light to your vision and already work with some of the larger companies like Star City and Quarters. See you guys next week.